Develop Project Charter. Let's look at the Develop Project Charter process in more detail. What does the Project Charter contain? Well, it varies a little bit from organization to organization, but at a minimum, a Project Charter should establish the existence of the project and also provide the authority to the project manager to commit money and other corporate resources to the project. The Project Charter also contains the high-level project requirement, and it should be created by the project sponsor and handed over to the project manager. The project manager can do the groundwork to prepare the Project Charter, but it must be signed by the project sponsor. In many organizations, the Project Charter tries to cover detailed risks, schedule, cost, etc. of the project. But let me remind you that a Project Charter is not a project management plan. The detailed risk, schedule, cost analysis, etc. is part of the project management plan, and it should be done during the project planning phase, when there is more details about the project available to do so. Now, let's look at the key inputs to be considered in preparing the Project Charter. The first being the Project Statement of Work. This is created by project sponsor or the customer describing their needs, project scope, and how the project fits into their strategic goal. If the project is taken up under a contract, the request for proposal, i.e. RFP, can be considered as Project Statement of Work. The second input to be considered for the Project Charter is Enterprise Environmental Factors. This basically means that any project to be executed within the organization has to deal with the organizational culture and existing systems. You can think of this as organization baggage that comes with the project. This is why the same project being executed in two different organizations may be done differently. The next input to be considered is the constraint and assumptions. Constraints are factors that limit the project's options. For example, there can be a constraint on the money to be spent on the project, which is a constraint on the project budget. Assumptions are things that are assumed to be true, which may work out to be actually true or may in turn be false as well. For example, it may be assumed that a project would not require purchasing any third-party component, but while the project is being executed, there can be an actual need to buy a third-party component. This is an example of assumption, which may work out to be wrong. The last factor to be considered is organizational process assets. This is a broad term and includes all the organizational process, procedures and policies, corporate knowledge base, and historical project information. Every organization develops a set of processes, procedures, and policies that are based on the best practices learned by the organization over time. The historical information includes things like past project management plans, risks, lessons learned, and so on, of similar projects executed in the past.